Hey, it's Jim Ed from the Improvement Channel. Today we're looking at this Hossware numbers. Let's check one of these out. You can use these for whatever you're wanting to number. Of course, you can order whatever number you want. I'm going to go over the hardware, how to install this, the whole 9 yards. So let's get started. I have all of our numbers opened up, and I don't really love the contrast between the white and the cedar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this black, but we're still going to have the cedar that's going to resist weather and everything. I'm going to paint it with an outdoor paint. I am going to hang this outside. It's going to be a latex paint. That'll be cool. These numbers, you should note, are aluminum. So even if this powder coated finish comes off many years down the road, it's still not going to rust. My guess would be the sun's going to hurt this more than anything. My guess is going to be you're going to get a good 10 years out of these. That's just kind of like with my experience. I can't tell you that for sure or guarantee it or anything like that, but I would expect to get a good 10 years out of this. So the hardware is pretty cool. You have threaded spots in each of the numbers. Some of them have 3, some of them only have 2. The 8 has 3, the 5 has 3. Okay, that's what I would expect. So what you can do is put these little studs in here. You thread those in, and you have optional spacers that you can use. I'm going to use the spacers, I believe. I'm going to check them out. I'm planning on using them because what that's going to do is give it some depth. This will all, pretty much whatever you're mounting to, whether you're mounting to a siding, directly onto a siding or into brick, you'll have everything you need. You've got little fasteners here for your masonry work, and then if you want to put this directly into the siding, you can. But what I am going to do is I'm going to put this directly into here, so I'll have to figure out my own method for attaching this whole board to my side of whatever I'm doing. All right, so this will go in like so. The spacers will actually need to wait because they're going to be in the way for right now. But what I'll do is I'll lay these all out where they look good, and once I get them right where I want them, I'll come back with a rubber hammer and tap these, and it'll make a mark, and then I'll come back with a drill bit that's a little smaller than this and drill all of the marks out, and that'll allow me to push this in all the way to where the spacer is. At that point, you could take a washer and a nut on the back of it. You'll kind of need to space this off of the structure, but that would be an option. Or most likely what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut these off the back with either a pair of cutters, side cutters, or my angle grinder with a cutoff blade, and then I'll have a flat piece on the back, and I'll just put this directly to the structure. So I got this laid out straight, I think. I mean, it's mostly eyeballed. What I was going to try to, figure out a distance here, but the problem is all of these screws that we're putting into the back. Oh, wait a minute. I just realized something. There's 2 on the bottom of each of these except the end number. So let me flip this one over. What I did was I tried to take like this straight edge here that stood up kind of high and kind of made sure they were all the same distance, all straight across the bottom. Then when I go to the top, the 8, which you can't see, the 8's a little bit taller, so that is fine. And then I use the speed square to kind of put beside this 0, which I can tell is a little bit off, but it kind of just helps you tell. And then I think the spacing looks great. Move this over just a little. I have found in the past, I've done a lot of numbers for people before, different than this, but as long as it looks good on the eyeball, it typically doesn't. It's close enough. It looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and try to tap this without moving the others, which I can see the 5 moving. So let's move that back. I'll check this again with the speed square. I moved it again. I think it's what I want right there. Check it this way again. Okay. Okay. The great thing with cedar is it dents extremely easy. I could probably just drive these in, and I'm going to come pretty close to that because I'm certainly going to do this, drill these holes with a smaller drill bit than what these bolts are and force them in. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drill them with a hand drill. I'm not going to fool with a drill press. I don't care if they're in straight. As a matter of fact, I'll probably put them in crooked just so that it's got a little more holding power to hold this in with the threads. So the ones on the end, I'm just going to have to eyeball. For the most part, I will put the straight edge across the bottom, see where we're at. Okay, it looks good. If it looks good, it is good. Okay, so here we go drilling. I've got a 1/8 bit here. It is slightly smaller, but just slightly. I'm not sure if you can tell, but it is slightly smaller. So, like I was mentioning earlier, I'm not going to worry about going in straight. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to go in straight. I'm kind of going to hit it in opposite direction a little bit, as you can see here. And that's going to make it fit really tight. And I'm leaving the numbers in until I'm ready to drill it so I can really see where it needs to go. Of course, as you can see here, it's real obvious where the holes are. All right, I'm putting the last of the spacers on here. Show you how that's done. They just, of course, drop on. Okay. Of course, they're going to want to fall off as we flip this over, so we can try to hold them here. The ones with two are a lot easier to hold. Probably going to have to persuade that in with the hammer. So I'll need to do that one at a time. So let's go over here to this one. That was a piece of styrofoam right there. So if you saw that fall off, it's not chipping or anything like that. This is powder coated. All right, so I'm gonna hang it over the edge and drive it the rest of the way home. So those are in here at it, in a bind, if you will, which is also going to help make sure they don't want to unscrew, not like they really would anyway. But that's what we look like here with our non-painted. So let me throw it up here painted for you and see which one you like best. Or this. Which do you think looks better, the cedar or the black? Our board is ready to be painted. I'm going to paint the back first. As you can see, we got a little chip out. That's to be expected. Nobody's going to see that side. And really the only reason I'm painting this side is so that we can seal the back up a little bit better. And then we're going to paint the front last. And let's get our brand new paint sprayer unboxed here. I'll let you show you what all of that comes with. Here's the instructions manual. You get safety glasses. You get some gloves. You get some more gloves. Oh, and more and more. It'd be funny if I just kept pulling those out, wouldn't it? No, I get it. No, it wouldn't. All right. So Here's our paint sprayer to never fit back in this box this way again, packed perfectly. You get a battery, it's battery powered, get 2 batteries. Now, I will confess, I did open this up earlier. The batteries was right there on the end, and I charged them both up fully. They're good to go, and it actually uses the same battery as my eWorks Impact. And so I didn't even have to pull the charger out. I put it on that charger, which that's always cool when it works on different platforms. However, this doesn't work on any of the known platforms that I know of, other than some of this newer stuff coming out of China. So here is what this looks like. It plugs in right here to charge it. And then here is our strainers and all of this fun stuff here. So we get strainers, we get tips. We're going to be painting this with an exterior latex paint. It's going to be about as thick as it gets as far as paints go, that you're going to run through a sprayer. But we should be able to run this through without thinning it down any. But I will use the largest orifice spray tip that we have, which is probably a 3.0. There's a 1.0. There is our 3.0, by far the largest. We've got a 2.0. There's the 1.0 again. There's a 1.5 and a 1.8. So lots of options. You get the little little wire deal to clean out the tip. And then you get the little pipe cleaner to clean out the machine real good. So on machines like this, typically this will turn, but no, it pushes and pulls off. Okay, that's a little different, but no problem. This will never have to be cleaned. This just blows the air. These are all your paint parts here, which is actually, these are pretty simple to clean. I don't mind them a bit. Great for medium to smaller projects. 2 batteries, you can get into some little larger projects with it. Let's get this thing set up in the 3.0. Let's get some paint in this, and we're going to do some spraying. So we're getting this paint strained out, and as you can see, that is super fast. So while we're waiting on that to happen, it would be a great time for you to subscribe and like the video. Okay, we're ready to get to spraying. This is going to come out pretty fine. I've messed with this a little bit, so you're going to want to get used to it. I like going along and getting the edges first. This is the back side that I'm spraying. I'm not worried about it being perfect. I'm just wanting to get the seal on it like I mentioned earlier. Also, this is cedar, and I am looking for a more rustic look for this. That's why I didn't plane it down or sand it down. We're just going to go with it as is. I do have this set to pretty fine. I can up the amount and focus the spray into more of a circle versus a wider spray. And again, this is latex paint, so it's thick. If you're using like an oil-based paint, it's going to spray a little different. So just keep in mind, this is the biggest tip, and this is the thickest paint you'll run through this thing. Another really cool thing about sprayers like this is you can get away with about a 4-hour dry time. So if you're spraying again and you got a few hours in between where this can cure out and you want to come put another coat on there, you can do that. As a matter of fact, that's what we're going to do here. I'm just going to wipe this tip off with a damp cloth. I'm going to spray a little more on this, and then I'm going to let it dry, which will only take it probably about an hour, and then I can come back and put another coat on it. I've still got a coat of paint to put on this, but what I'm going to go ahead and do, I've identified the fasteners that I'm going to use. These are outdoor fastener. It's almost like a lag screw. Here is what I'm going to use to go into the brick. And then this is the spacer I'm going to put behind it. So I'm actually going to have this spaced off the wall a little bit, and the numbers will be spaced off of this a little bit. So I'm going to try to hit this right behind the ones. So the large head on this that's black will cover this up, and it'll be behind the number. I'll go ahead and install all the center numbers, and then I'll put the ones on there after I've attached it to the wall, so everything will be nice and neat. Okay, so I'm going to put some tape on this so we can get our hole locations while this is finishing out drying all the way. So I know I put them there towards the top, and that's fine. I'm going to trim this off. Trim this off as well. So we'll have our length down on how long the piece is when we go locate it, where it's going. And then I'm also going to mark my hole locations here. And my hole location here. Okay, let's go transfer that to where we're going to use it. So I want the piece to be right above this solar light, centered just like this solar light is. So I'm going to take a look and see what looks just like it right in the center. I'm going to raise it up a little bit. And I'm going to drill into the mortar joint. So I'm going to put our tape right here. Okay. Right here where the two cuts are, you can probably see that. If not, just trust that I can. I've got it on hammer drill, and we're ready to go right here on the mortar joint. Okay, let's put the anchor in. I meant to do that. All right, we're going to repeat that on the other side, and we're going to be ready to put the sign up. One thing I want to show you here, there is an adjustment for the flow. And this is probably really going to matter more with oil-based paints. There's a very fine adjustment to reduce or increase the flow. So when you pull the trigger, how much you get. Also, really easy to clean the filter out. And interestingly enough, there was some stuff I already caught in the filter from this brief, short, small use. So be good to clean this out every now and then, or probably every time you use it. It cleaned up easy. We're finished now. Everything's painted. So, all right, let's go hang this thing up. So I'm gonna put our screw through here. I'm gonna put 2 of these plastic spacers on the back side of it. And I'm gonna get it started. That's nice how that just fits right in there where it's supposed to. All right, we're going to go with, if it looks straight, it is straight. Let's put our last 2 numbers up here. All right. And there's a shot from the front. I think that has a super clean, contemporary look. The large 5-inch numbers look awesome, and I'm very, very pleased with the contrast. So how awesome did that turn out? Love the looks of that. If you're interested in getting some numbers like these or any of the products that was used in this video, just check the description. We've got them all in there for you. Links are in the description. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Look forward to seeing you on the next one.